What if you just wanted to learn, a character that's a little bit more on the fringe side of things, a little more. What if you want to name yourself Vega Patch and play Fong? What if you're somebody like that? Could you use an off-meta character, aka trash, a trash character, and win a premiere event, Brian? A premiere event. I'm not even talking about CPT Online. I'm talking about actual combo breaker, CEO, something like that. Yeah, could you get that done with an off-meta character?
I don't know about that. I mean, maybe we should call back to what we even mean by a premiere event. It's been quite some time, right? So what we've been doing for the 2020-2021 season, these have been amazing events, but the theme of these kind of seasons has been more highlighting individual regions and kind of accessing the talent pool there and seeing within a more direct and focused scope who the strong players are, who the talent is, right? So naturally, the breadth of your player pool becomes a little bit less deep, right? Like you have just the players in that region, so you have to focus on what that region provides you, right? What matchups are in that region, the players in that region. So it's not the same as a premiere where it's more of the entire world. I mean, it's weird to say that, but it kind of, you go to an American CPT premiere, you look at those standings, is a lot of people from Japan, Korea, from Europe, different countries, maybe from Dominican Republic, right? Like it's a worldwide event, and you have to worry about not only the best players from your region, but the best players from, the traveling crusade of the people that you see in the office every weekend, which are people from all over the world. And usually they're not going to be picking characters that are trash, as you would say. I wouldn't call them trash, but
no character in Street Fighter 5 is really trash anyway, right now.
But so the question is, like, can you win when you have to play not only the best players in that immediate region, but also just so many players? There's hundreds of entrants. There's so many more matches you got to play, and I just think it gets so difficult to consistently
what you mean it gets difficult? What are you saying though? Are you saying yes or are you saying no?
I'm saying the reason we're talking about this is because I think we've seen some off-meta characters kind of win right now, right? We've seen Dalsum, Mr. Crimson, doing some work. We've seen, the Nashes in Brazil. Ronaldinho is qualified for Capcom Cup with Nash. But can they do the same with just those characters in a premiere? And I think the answer is I don't know, probably not. No.
Really? Oh, hold up, Brian. So. Okay. Brian, it's about to get ugly for you. You are about to get washed in this debate. And you know what? I'm not even going to apologize in advance because you deserve this.
It's been a long time coming, huh? Right?
You said, can a character win, can you win a premiere event with an off-meta character, right? And it might sound like I'm about to say that there's this example where it happened. Nope, I don't think I've ever seen that happen yet in Street Fighter 5. At least not on top of my head. I don't know if I've seen that happen. Mm-hmm. However, the reason we have not seen it happen is, of course, because it comes down to player skill. But if you are someone who's so strong that you even have the skill as a player, even with a top tier character, to win a premiere event, then obviously, you're gonna pick a meta character. You're gonna pick so the best players just aren't 9 times out of 10 are not gonna choose to play that type of character. When we see a Punk, the prime example of this, I would say we saw him bust out the Vega to beat Shine in CPT East in East just now.
And that's not like just I don't really care about this match pick. I mean that's
a
serious pick because they've been going down the wheel of option of characters, and Shine beat Punk at the Intel World Open showing previously. So it wasn't a disrespectful, like I can pick anyone and beat you. That was the tool he chose for the job to get the job done was Vega. So yeah, he's definitely getting legitimate big wins with high stakes using Vega, who's definitely not a top tier, consistent top 8 ever in a premier placer. Like you don't see that character doing work in CPT.
It's not common at all. And look, guys, so when it comes to these like top tier versus mid tier, low tier characters, some characters' win condition is more difficult to get to than another character's win condition. Karen, for example, some people might want to debate. There's multiple I could bring up, but however, generally speaking, Karen getting into low forward range and using and having a game plan based off of that. She has a million other ones, but all of a sudden now, if it hits, you're gonna die, but now you're scared of my low forward, so I can just walk up on you for a throw or a mix up. Or you might want to press a button in advance, maybe a heavy poke that goes further than my low forward, but Karen has some of the best whiff punishes in the game, right? Boom, whiff condition. It's straightforward, it's easy to get to. That's something that makes the character top tier. Whereas you look at like a character like Vega, as we brought up for example, decent character. However, I'm gonna take a decent amount of risk versus Vega if I feel like it. Because how much damage is he gonna get off? So basically, what I'll say is that you can make less reads and get a victory with a character like G, a very good character like G, Karen, characters like that. But when you are a very strong player, you're already making the right read more than your opponent at such a high rate that even with those characters, the lower tier characters, you still can win. How often is someone going to be getting the first hit in neutral against the elite of the elite players? So I definitely think that they can win with those characters. However, I do not believe that they can win consistently.
Yeah, it's just an odds thing, and I think the general public doesn't like to discuss odds when it comes to fighting games because people have this perception that it's like better player always wins, and it's all about skill and it's the personal perseverance and I can do whatever I want if I put my mind to it. But the reality is when it comes to the highest level of Street Fighter, often what separates player A from player B is that 0.001% difference, right? I mean, how many sets have we seen come down to that last interaction, that last potential guess? It happens all the time. And that's because people are fighting on that razor's edge of skill difference. And because of that, I think odds come into play. You want to go into a premiere with the best odds possible, and this is why I'm bringing up the difference between like the 2021 season versus a typical premiere that you would see in an offline tournament scene, because you have to play so many more matches in a premiere. So many more because the size of the tournaments is larger and the potential player pool, like the potential peak, like the average skill level at the top once you get to top 32, you're not just playing the best in that region, you're playing the best in the world potentially. And all those players are trying to stack the odds in their favor. So if they play a character that has a worse matchup spread, where there's a higher potential to run into bad matchups, odds are that character is going to run into those bad matchups more often than not in a premiere and be either forced to pick a counter pick to get the odds in their favor or at least even, or they lose in bracket, right? So that's why I feel like, sometimes you got to play the numbers game, and that's why you see the top tier players, they play top tier characters because they need the odds in their favor.
All right, Brian, I guess I'll take it back a little bit. I didn't end up completely smoking you in that debate. Even though I won,